I think. Almost. Now we are. All right. Hello, everyone, for another Spec 3.0 meeting. So this is actually the first one where technically we reached a feature freeze from today. Kinda. Well, so we actually haven't, that's actually the funny thing. There haven't been anyone saying yes or no. There's nobody that said no. So whether it's been, what's it called?
Lazy consensus.
Yeah, basically. But let's see. We have a few items on the agenda today. So Lucas, do you want to start with yours or should I start with an update?
I mean, so like there's not much really to like, because you put all the items separately in the agenda, but like I just wanted to highlight like that it's like if we have future freeze, and even if there are some items on the agenda, we more or less know how they will look like in the spec once we merge them. And we should start poking and involving people that will help educating people about 3.0. So that's why I put all the items on the agenda, like docs or education materials and stuff like that. So I think we should start inviting explicitly these people. Plus also do, I mean, I loved the idea you had in this discussion about the freeze, and you mentioned this kind of office hours that we can have for the community to jump into the meeting and ask any question about 3.0. So I guess we should already start thinking about scheduling the first ones. So yeah,
sorry guys, can I ask a quick question? One of the things, sort of the last dangling threat that we had on 3.0 was the sort of XSD support, and I've unfortunately missed the last couple of times. Where did we land on that?
So it's part of this issue here. Gotta send it in chat.
But you're gonna talk about it, Jonas, right? That's why I was not mentioning this one and the request reply as well. So
yeah, so I actually didn't plan on mentioning that one because it's not being championed for version 3 explicitly, like for XSD support, because it's just a feature in the end, most likely a feature at least. So it's not something that's going to be, unless someone picks it up. We had someone on Slack reach out, maybe wanting to champion it, but yeah, so let's see what happens. But for version 3 explicitly, there's not going to be any non-JSON standard reference support, at least not how it looks like now.
Got it. That's a bummer. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But let's see in version 3.1 or what will happen.
But we still want to solve the other case where you cannot have in components schemas different than async API schema. So that's still on the agenda because that's possible like we know it's breaking change. So this stuff we want to solve.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask questions about that later in the update as well.
Okay,
because
cool.
I couldn't find. Yeah, let's take it there.
Okay. But yeah, if it comes to my topic, that's it. Like we just yeah, have to do it. So I guess the only agreement we can take now is to at least Alejandra and have Ace maybe next time on the meeting.
Yes.
Not sure if somebody else should be invited.
Makes sense.
Not sure if other ambassadors like Jesse, what do you think? Like, is it a time to already start kind of involving ambassadors so they can start mentioning wherever they are about 3.0 that it's like almost stable and we're in a few months want to release it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think for sure.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, so once you schedule next meeting, I'll just make sure to ping everyone in the issue.
Okay, I'll do. Right. So, do you have anything more for your agenda items?
Nah.
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 All right. All right. I did a little bit of a status update on what we're still missing and what is basically work in progress and what's done. Let me share my screen. So one of the things is we had at Change something that has been that Magic started working on 2 weeks ago was changing how trades merge work. So, and this is basically an old issue that was on the back burner, but I guess now has become a work in progress again, where it's about trades not overriding explicitly defined stuff. So for example, if you have 2 descriptions, one in trades and one in the actual, for example, here in the message object, that this description wouldn't override this. It would only override, or at least that's my understanding of it, it would only override what hasn't been explicitly defined. So it changes how trades work. So that has been a work in progress. I'm not sure about the status of it. And whether it is still being considered for version 3. But since Magic's not here and Fran is not here, which are the only ones that has engaged in this topic, I'm gonna ping them afterwards.
Okay, because it's a possible breaking change then.
It is a breaking change.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's one of the changes that that has been moved. I'm gonna quickly go over. So some of the things that are completely done, as far as I can tell, is that we added a lot of new metadata to the fields in servers, channel, and operation objects to kind of uniform which kind of metadata you can define. So that seems like it's completely done now, both in parser and JSON schema files, etc. So I moved that down to completed. Then we have some changes to the component section, which is adding support for tags and external documentations to be referenced in components. That seems like it's completely done as well, both in parser, spec JSON, and spec repo. Then we have some cleaning up on the root object, something about having tags and external docs on the like moving that from the root object to the info object instead. That seems like it's completely done as well. Then we have some stuff about the pops up confusion changes. So channels field has become optional within the async API file. It has also rippled the changes through parser, spec, repo, etc. And then we have let channels be identified by an ID rather than an address. So that seems like it's completely done as well. So now whenever you define a channel, it's an ID and you use an address field instead. to explicitly define what's the address of the topic or path or whatever it is in the protocol that you're using. So that seems like it's done as well. So what we have remaining is, and this was what you, Lucas, talked about, where you want to combine both schema and schema format into one. So basically you can use components to define reusable schemas and reference them easier. I couldn't figure out whether it's still being championed and who champions it and what is missing.
Yeah, so from the comments in the issue, I have an impression that we have an agreement. The only thing that is missing is the champion, but it's basically because I need final information from Maciej, because I remember having with him a chat before the last meeting, where he, in his special way, shared that he's happy that I wanted to push it on the agenda, and he basically asked me. Sorry, I just looked at something different. He wrote to me that, like, if that goes through, he wants to be the one that opens PR, basically.
Okay.
So he wants to champion it. But I couldn't reach him like too much this week. I know he's a bit offline this week because of personal issues. So we need to wait with his clear answer in the issue, I guess, until next week. But so we basically, so maybe I'm wrong saying we don't have champion. It's just, we can say like there's at least two champions. Sorry, at least one champion. But it's gonna be Maciej or me. And if he clarifies next week that it's me, I'm gonna immediately sit into it and push it forward.
Right. I'm gonna make sure to ping you too then in the issue, just to get clarity.
Yeah, I mean, so in the issue I already pinged Maciej, I think.
Yes,
if you go to
I
the
think
issue,
I think you did too. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do it as well.
Yeah.
Double ping.
I was supposed to have a beer with him today, actually. But yeah, because of the issues he has, we'll have to ping him offline.
All right, the final stuff for the pub sub confusion. I think there's only one remaining issue, which we also discussed, which was the remote and local servers. I think that's the only thing that's missing from completing this, if I'm not mistaken. Fran, feel free to jump in. And if I recall correctly, the remote and local servers was something that we didn't we put it on the back burner? So instead of forcing it through?
Yeah, because it was, Fran showed up.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so I don't have to answer for him.
No, yeah, I think it was put about on the back burner, as you said, but there's no need to force it because it was creating some other side effects. And yeah, I didn't want to force it. There's no urgent need to do it. So yeah.
And it's a feature anyway, right? So that's why.
And it's a feature, yeah.
So do we have anything else missing from completing this pops up confusion?
I don't think so. I think everything is there. We'll see in the next month if something pops up, but I think everything is there. And
okay.
The only thing that's concerning me is request response. So it's 1st of March and it still hasn't been merged. So it's not probably subscribe related, but yeah, that was the only issue that was concerning me. Sorry if you already discussed, but
it's coming up now.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so this is on back burner, and this is basically done then. Right. Pops up confusion. What is missing in order to merge it? Does anyone know the status of it? Like
You mean request
explicitly?
response?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not
So
pops up. Sorry.
there was one stuff that Heiko was missing because we agreed on having a message filter on reply. He just needs to update the spec, but it's nothing that again has to go through conversations. It's just something that he just needs to add to the proposal. But it's pretty advanced because Maciej helped with the parser and JSON schema, as far as I remember.
Oh, that has been added as well. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but as far as I remember, I think Maciej was helping Heiko with putting it there, but I did not follow really closely.
I'll check. Okay, so is there anything that we need to do in order to solve this? Do we need to schedule an explicit call just for solving all of the, like cleaning it up, or? I know Heiko isn't here, but yeah.
No, like, I mean, so we are pretty regular with this proposal. So as I said, like he just needs to extend the markdown document. And like, so it was me from looking from the code owner's perspective, it was me and Fran having most conversations there, but Dale also saw the proposal and read it through a lot because he put a lot of comments. So I think it's just a few things here and there, and it's gonna be merged soon. I mean, it's the most kick-ass stuff for 3.0, so.
Yeah. All right, so slowly progressing. All right. Anything else for it? All right. So, Fran, we have an outstanding something about unifying all reference stuff. And that's in terms of, as I recall, referencing security and servers, etc. I couldn't find any status on JSON schema changes and parser changes. Have they been made?
No, I don't think so. I didn't do them. So I was giving priority to the spec only. But I will not discard that Maciej did it actually.
Okay.
I think he did. Yeah, he did a bunch of this JSON schema and parser changes. So yeah, rings me a bell, but I'm not sure.
I will check it.
Yeah, I wasn't worried because the hard, let's say, the deadline of introducing changes to the spec was to the spec only, right? So yeah, I was like, okay, let's just focus on the markdown document and then the rest can come later. So yeah.
So this one I think is already done, if I recall correctly. So this was more or less well, just an ambiguity in the specification.
Yeah, in the end, it was only about changing security, how we reference security requirements, and we had I had to add a change to two changes. I think one was renaming scopes to available scopes, and then introducing a scopes field in the security requirement object. Maybe security requirement object, or maybe security scheme object. I can't remember. But yeah, any of them. So that was the only change. I know the pull request was called like unify all, reference stuff, but that was the only thing that was actually different. So yeah, that's why that's the only thing. Papa, can you hear Ada?
Yes.
Yes, a lot.
A lot?
Actually, we can't even hear you. It's just Ava.
Papa.
All right. So this one is actually done. So I'm gonna move that into completed as well. And then from the last call we had, we are basically done with moving all of the JSON schema bindings to the JSON schema spec repo. So all that's missing is we need to change the contribution guideline for bindings. And then we need to remove the spec JSON files from the bindings, but we already have a PR for that. And then we of course need to inspect the bindings for version 3 as well. So that's been added to the task list. And this list of things to do, like the general list of things to do, I'm probably gonna add a bunch of different things that we need to do before release is ready, basically. So I'm probably gonna start mapping out all of the doc changes as well. Like, what do we need from a docs perspective? And then use that as a starting point for next meeting to start the discussion there. What else? Yeah, that's basically the status I had. Does any of you have any questions? Something you want to discuss? Something to add?
To add, yes, I'm freaking excited. I want this to be done already and released, but yeah, that's great. But I'm freaking excited. I can't wait to write stuff in version 3 and forget about version 2. So, yeah.
I agree.
Especially the publish subscribe.
It's gonna be nice.
And especially the request response. Yeah. I'm loving this one. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a huge one. So, yeah.
Do you folks have any outstanding issues that we need to take a look at, or something that you, some task that we need to perform that we need to be aware of, or need to add?
No, like, so the only one really for the next meeting is the, like, I hope that for the next meeting request reply is basically merged, and we have clarity and proposal for the schemas in components, and that's it, right?
Oh yeah, now that you're here, friend, this new merge trade stuff, I saw you reviewed from Magic. Do you know if that's being championed for version 3?
I can't remember now, but yeah, that makes total sense. Actually, I think we should introduce it on version 3 because it's going to be a breaking change, because it changes the way the objects are merged, and it makes more sense to change it like Magic did. So this issue is coming from.
It's an old one.
It's an old one, yeah. It's coming from can't remember his name. Fanon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we discussed about it on the Thinking Out Loud as well. And it's I think it makes total sense. It's not that it's wrong. It's just a different point of view, as always.
Just different behavior, right?
Damn points of views. But yeah, it makes sense. So if we can merge this, that would be cool. And that makes me think about the deadline that we established. Or
I actually wanted
like,
to bring that up as well.
Yeah, like I mean, it's okay. I think the process should be there to serve us, not to block us, right? So So yeah, I'm happy to extend the deadline, but yeah, we need to finish at some point. So probably what we should be doing instead of defining a specific time, a specific day, we should probably define a specific set of features and changes that are going to be on Spec 3.0. So we decide like which ones are gonna make it and which ones are not gonna make it, and that's it. And then whenever it's there, it's there. If it's there in the first 15 days of March, if not, cool. It will still make it to version 3, but whenever we can. So yeah. But yeah, we need to set we need to set a line right somewhere, right? So because otherwise we'll end up doing what we've been doing the last years, like endlessly improving version 3, right? So
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, let's focus only on breaking changes from now on. I would say like whatever can be a breaking change can be there. If it's not gonna be a breaking change, we don't even consider it anymore for version 3. Like that will
Yeah,
be for
but if
version 3.1.
I mean, eventually you will have to, regardless, to set a date where no future changes. Like you can't get around it, because
Yes.
otherwise you will keep improving it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Also,
So
we
how
probably
do
have
we?
to be. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, just go ahead. I can finish up.
No, I was saying that we should probably be less scared of version 4. So, I mean, not that we want to release version 4 right after, right? But if we have to, why not? So maybe, I mean, if we can avoid it, of course, that's cool. But yeah, if we have to, that's also not a problem, I would say.
I mean, that's the whole reason of continuous release, right? You may or may not have it. It's just.
And that's the whole reason of the new parser as well, of the existence of the intent-driven API, so that we can keep releasing new versions, and people can keep migrating a lot more easier, right? But yeah, not for free, of course. It's never for free, but yeah, a lot more easier, I guess.
So how do we get a consensus on what's it called? Like, yeah, how do we get to a consensus on the release schedule then?
I don't know.
He's being extorted. I love it.
Yes. He's already asking for money. And she's not even 2 years old.
So yeah, so how do we get to an agreement on the release schedule? Because it sounds like it might move. Instead of having the release in June, it might actually be moved again.
No, because if we're gonna move it to September, there's no change between June and September. We're not gonna complete it. Then we're gonna do what? January next year. I suggest, like, we had a deadline, right? So deadline was today or yesterday. But we had some items in the pipeline, the traits and the schemas in components. And we had already a few conversations saying that in case of protobuf, it's much more complicated, but it's feature. So it can be easily, like, even if Heike wants to champion it actively now, there's no problem to release 3.0 in June and 3.1 in September with this protobuf, if he managed to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I would say, like, whatever we discussed about, we know that there's a solution, possible solution. Then we should just accept those. So I would say traits and the schema and components.
So we're talking about that we will include both this one and this one. And yeah, recursive supply is already
Oh, yeah.
there. So yeah, that's not even a question.
But that it already reached this stage that was
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Indicated.
So we keep basically this release schedule, but we make an exception for at least 2 of the breaking changes that are already well into discussion.
Yeah. Especially that
Yeah.
these 2 breaking changes, they're not affecting bindings. They're not related to bindings, current binding objects. So, for example,
Well, it kind of is, because bindings can define, sometimes bindings actually reference schemas. And if you reference as the schema object, you need to decide whether it's actually reference the union of schema format and schema, or just the schema.
damn
I
it,
wa-
yeah.
I won't worry about bindings, to be honest. Like, it's a highly
Yeah.
experimental thing. So if it's affecting bindings, who cares? Like, it's like, bindings are easy to change and quick to change. So
I
if it's
agree.
affecting it, who cares?
And we haven't done an actual inspection of the bindings yet anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
Well, I mean,
What do you mean?
I mean, I have a bit different opinion about bindings. Like, we might think it's experimental, but in fact, it's heavily used by many different companies in production. So whatever we think it is, it isn't what
But
we think it
they-
is. So we
Right.
definitely should. I mean, like at least from the approach we should have, that it's as important as spec, really, and not that, like, who cares?
I mean, who cares? I mean, when I say who cares, it's because it's not even version 1. None of them are in version 1. So yeah, of course we should put some love there. But to be honest, like, when it comes to the discussion, I don't think it's important, because it's right now, as of today, it keeps changing. They keep changing, right? They keep breaking previous versions. So yeah, we should put more love. I definitely agree, and probably it will be the next big effort after version 3, that we stabilize bindings, right? So, because it's true, because companies and people in general are relying on it already. So yeah, agree. But for now, for this discussion, I think it's not as relevant.
Yeah, but I guess we are agree that when we release 3.0, we already have bindings adjusted for 3.0, so people
Yeah,
can
yeah,
use
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
And
Yeah, the whole spec should make sense. Yeah, when we release it, the whole spec should make sense. Not just the core spec, right? But also the tools and everything, right? So yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna make that suggestion in the release schedule, where we say that these 2 issues are exempt of the rule, but otherwise we still keep it, or at least that's a suggestion. How do we finalize that is the case? Like, this is the approach we take.
I mean, we should have agreement before the next meeting, and we should do everything possible to make sure that the other code owners of the spec, they agree. So later on, we speak the same language.
All right. So if I ping code owners and put a deadline for
Yeah.
voting, otherwise it's agreed. Is that fine?
Yeah. I mean, anyway, like, according to charter, we should not wait longer than a week. So if you write a comment this week, we're gonna have lazy consensus or active consensus before the next meeting.
All right. That's it. I don't have anything else, I think. So unless any of you have, it is a short meeting. Got your wish, Lucas.
Is it?
I mean, it's
You're so spoiled. For your 40 minutes meeting, it's not long. Or I'm
If-
spoiled, actually.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm spoiled. Sorry.
I mean, it's 20 minutes earlier than normal and stuff, right? So it is early. It's 30%. Like it's can't not say that it's not fast. All right. Nothing else? Okay. See you next time then. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.